Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, be the first one getting all the insight. Now today's video is all about answering questions. I've been doing so-called partnership visa, or perhaps you just want to be a subsequent partner into one of the visas, perhaps student visa, a 482 employment work visa. You wanted to be the spouse or partner of the primary visa applicant. You need to meet so-called the relationship definition and requirements. Now, there has been a lot of people speculating in regards to whether or not if you could just, I don't want to get married yet. I just wanted to get registered with the a partnership, de facto partnership or civil partnership certificate of registration in order to meet that requirement. Now, would that suffice all the needs in meeting the requirement or the definition of relationship? So then we don't need to prove the evidence of the mutual commitment and living evidence of living together. Now, this is a very commonly asked question and has been there for years. Now, straight to the answer, I would say probably no. If I'm the case officer, I'll need more evidence of support, not just a certificate of civil partnership. But let's have a look what the immigration website says. And by the second half of this video, I will provide my suggestion and my advice in regards to how to meet that requirement there. So let's have a look. The relationship requirement, which you could easily find on the website and the immigration website. Let me just magnify that a little bit. Oops, where did it go? Okay, it's down right. Ooh. It's right up there. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Okay, so that's a bigger version, but you can search on partnership partner visa. You'll be able to find this particular section here. So meeting the relationship requirement. Let's have read, and I've done numbers of videos on partnership visas. So you may want to review that one as well. But today's video is all about answering whether or not just by registering a relationship evidence, would that suffice the requirement? Okay, so in order, now we can dodge this part because I wanted to talk more about relationship rather than being sponsored by an Australian citizen or Australian permanent resident. But the law here on the evidence of support on the relationship part is the same. So if you're a married applicant, well, that's pretty easy. You will have a certificate of marriage. It's either going to be under Australian law and you have mutual commitment. Usually you will have that kind of commitment and the relationship is genuine and continued. Now, key here is, even if you're married, you provide marriage certificate, you still need to show there is a genuine and continuing relationship. Now, how do you show that? For example, there's a kid or you're mutual living together. Again, that is another key here. So you can see that you either live together or do not live apart permanently. So, the other, your spouse could, due to business requirement, travel a lot, but your permanent address is still the same with the other part of your marriage relationship there. So you're not related by family. Okay, so again, if you can see here, what I want to do, why do I need to talk about marriage? It's pretty straightforward. But again, even if you're a married couple, it requires you to show this 3 or 4 criteria. So that goes back, even if you're not married, you only got registered relationship with a civil partnership under whichever the state or territory that you can go. So as you know, if we go to Queensland, there is a civil partnership registration. It doesn't require you to have those evidence of genuine living. It's the same. If you don't get married, any state government or any country would not go and ask, oh, have you been living together for 12 months or living together for 24 months? Have you been engaged? No, that's not the law. Generally, any state or any country, should I say, I'm from, or the country I know around the world, they won't ask that kind of things. There will be a ceremony, or you may choose not to have a ceremony. Same as the New South Wales state government as well. Relationship registration, it only require you to prove that you're 18, you're living in New South Wales, blah blah blah, and that's all you need to provide. So you need to prove ID. So there is no law by any state or country would say you're required to, again, genuinely living together continually, not separate apart permanently. Okay, but this is actually the requirement for immigration law, because there has been a lot of fraudulent, misleading information in the past, and because registering a relation, even if you register with marriage, it's so easy nowadays. So obviously they wanted to check whether or not the relationship is genuine. So it goes the same with the de facto partner, as you can see here. Now when we read the whole thing in the immigration regulation or their information here, you need to read it as a whole. You do not read it as one part. For example, a lot of people come to me because they read the last sentence. Now the last sentence says it also will not apply if your registered relationship with the Australian authority, such as a register of birth and death certificate and marriage. So if you only read this part, you'll probably think, well, okay, so if I register with the whether going to be a marriage certificate or civil partnership certificates, then I don't need to prove evidence of that I've been living together anymore. But that is totally wrong, because you need to read the whole thing, and not just partially. Because if you read it as a whole, it says de facto partner. To be de facto partner, you need to be in a relationship and not married, of course, and because that counts same-sex marriage as well. Some state does not have that recognition yet, but you can actually register the relationship even if you're same-sex. And mutual commitment, relationship is genuine and continuing. Again, that is exactly again what I'm trying to say here is, even with a married couple, you're still required to show there's a mutual commitment, there is a genuine continuing, and not living permanently apart. Because you read these three dots and items, it's almost identical with here, doesn't it? But it does say about the 12-month thing immediately before, and it goes down. It's just a way to calculate or to define a genuine and continuing relationship. It doesn't mean this part here will negate everything, because if this part negates everything, then why would they talking about married couple? That the married couple will have a more strict rule than a de facto partner, because they have this exemption down here. So again, what I'm trying to say here is that there has been a lot of people coming to me and say, look, I read on the website, it says if you're registered with the Department of Marriage, Death and Birth, whatever the relationship, then you don't need to provide all that. Well, that is just one part of the sentence. It says it will not require as much as a proof, but it's one of the reference. But if we read the entire page as a whole, if a marriage couple is required to prove evidence that there's a genuine, continuing, and mutual living commitments, why wouldn't that apply to a de facto partners, right? So it will be the same. I would say my suggestion here, even if you have registered with a civil partnership relationship or whatever it's called, or de facto relationship certificates, you are still required to prove that law, the genuine, continuing relationship, mutual commitment, and living evidences. Now, how much do you need it? Well, if you can prove there has been a 12-month before the lodgement of application, you'll be perfect. But if it's going to be less, I would say not less than 9 months, because if it's going to be less than 9 months, that probably will be in a gray area. All right, so this is what I wanted to share with you today in this video. So if you do have more question, query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below. And I'll see you next video. Goodbye.